Good evening and welcome to the 10th annual A Lovely Evening. My name is Becky Schlatter and I'm the president of the Pennridge Community Education Foundation. Thank you for coming out and joining us tonight. After being forced to cancel last year's A Lovely Evening due to the pandemic, PCEF is excited and honored to present the 2020 Friend of Education Awards. We also take pride in utilizing this opportunity to showcase the fabulous talent of musicians here in Pennridge School District. Founded in 2008, PCEF exists to enhance and enrich the educational opportunities of students in the Pennridge School District. We do so mainly through classroom innovative grants. Our first grants were awarded in 2010. Since then, we have given out 64 grants totaling well over $40,000. Throughout the years, we've relied on local businesses, members of the Pennridge community, district administration, our teachers, high school music directors, and many talented high school musicians. Without their continued support, we would not be where we are today. I would certainly be remiss if I did not mention our student liaisons. Aiden, Tara, Emily, and Wendy have been with us the past 2 years. They are seniors and will be graduating in June. We will miss them, but wish them all the best as they continue on their journey. Hopefully someday they'll find themselves back at PCEF. It's no surprise the past year has been challenging. Needless to say, 2020 was all about the pivot. Pivoting our lives and our workplaces, shifting our mindset, changing the way we do most things, such as socializing, connecting, teaching, learning, just to name a few. After not meeting for several months, we, PCEF, looked to video conferencing as an option. We knew it was time to get back to work. We knew we needed to adapt. We needed to pivot. We weren't sure we could create the same meaningful connection in a virtual format. Our first meeting via Zoom was in August. It was a success, right? We became part of the Zoom boom. After 5 months off, it was great to reconnect. First couple of months found us sharing stories of the pandemic impact on both students and teachers. The same stories led us to question, how can we help? While our main focus remains the same on the students, we felt it was once again time to pivot and put some of our focus on the dedicated teachers here in the district. Shifting our mindset led us to a social media campaign titled Faces of Pennridge, our way of highlighting the many dedicated teachers we are fortunate to have here in the Pennridge School District. Make sure to follow us on Facebook as we prepare to launch this campaign in the next month or so. You don't want to miss it. Personally, I've been with PCEF since 2008. 13 years ago, Dr. Kish, the superintendent at the time, asked if I wanted to be part of something that was going to make a difference in the lives of the children here in the district. At the time, my children, David and Emma, were 8 and 5. I was very active at their school, Bedminster Elementary. I wasn't looking to take on a new challenge. I guess it's obvious what my answer was. To be honest with you, Dr. Kish had me at making a difference in the lives of the children here in the district. Through my involvement with PCEF, I have formed many wonderful new friendships, strengthened my ties in the community, shown my children the importance of giving back, and above all, I have seen our grants bring new opportunities to the classroom, opportunities our children might not have had. Confident when I say volunteering in education matters. With that, please consider joining PCEF. We welcome involvement from the community at any level. Time spent volunteering with PCEF is an investment in our children and their future. Don't hesitate to reach out with questions on how you can help. It's a lovely evening to celebrate Pennridge. Enjoy. With that, I'm going to turn it over to our Master of Ceremonies for the evening, former PCEF President Ron Smith.
Good evening. Like Becky already mentioned, things have been very different this whole year, and we've changed our venue this year. We're here at the high school, and we have a small but intimate group here tonight, and we do appreciate all of you coming out in these trying times that we experience here. One person that really needs to be thanked for getting this whole thing together, though, is Becky Slaughter herself. She has been the linchpin of our organization, getting us all together. Tom Rudder's done a lot for getting the program together and getting a lot of the advertising. And the rest of the PCEF team has just been, give me a round of applause there for all that work that they've done. Tonight, this is an evening where we do recognize our 3 Friends of Education Award, and as well as hear from our musical groups that we have here at Pennridge. The one group that greeted you when you came in the door was the String Quartet. The Pennridge High School Quartet is a group of 4 audition students who work year-round to prepare for music events just like this one. You can see them perform at various events in the school and the community. Of course, this year they haven't been out and about that much, so they really were glad to have the opportunity to perform tonight for you. Our first person that we're recognizing tonight is Mr. Bob Hosier. I've actually known Bob for probably over 40 years. He came probably about 3 or 4 years before I started at Pennridge. He's still here. I'm not, but shows his staying power. But I really got to know him more in the last 15 years when I've been officiating middle school track meets, and he is trying to run his track practice as there's like 100 middle schoolers running around, and he's trying to run a program. So it's amazing they do as well as they do. Probably they only average maybe 1 day a week that you have a track to yourself, if that, sometimes. So with further ado, there are actually 3 people going to present the award to him. We have Joey Gant, Diego Lara Lozano, and Andrew Reese. If you'd like to come forward to present the award to Mr. Hosier.
I'm Joey Gannon. I'm a junior on the track team.
Hi, I'm Diego Lozano. I'm a senior on the track team this year.
My name is Andrew Reese. I'm a senior on the track team. I'm going to go into a brief reading about Coach Hosier's accomplishments and career as a Pennridge teacher and a track coach. Bob Hosier, a graduate of Gettysburg College. Bob Hosier began his public education career as a social studies teacher at Pennridge High School in the fall of 1971. Among his early mentors in the chosen profession was a gentleman by the name of Wayne Hellman, who now has the name, and we're going to have a track meet in a couple weeks named after him. Invited him to join his football coaching staff and later to help with the high school track and field program. Whether in the classroom or in the athletic field, Bob possesses the perfect balance of heart and hardness, according to the individual who nominated him. In total, Bob has coached 103 seasons, but football 23, winter at track and field 32 seasons, and the spring track and field 48 years. In the last 20 years, Pennridge indoor and outdoor track and field athletes have earned numerous medals each year at the state championship meet. Bob has coached many Suburban 1 League Championships teams. Currently, we are on a 5-year winning streak with 7 undefeated seasons in the past 14 years. Hopefully, it can be 6 in a couple weeks. His athletes have won 1 District 1 championship. Despite his enormous success, current and former athletes competing under Coach Hosier have been ingrained with a devotion to staying both humble and kind. Those were actually part of the words that we used today as we beat CB West in a close meet. Older athletes are expected to reach out and assist newcomers. To this day, the importance of encouraging fellow athletes and being a good teammate are always just as important as the outcome of competition. Coach Hosier's students and athletes over the years have been awarded many athletic scholarships and went on to compete in prestigious settings, including 4 in the NFL. No doubt, generations of Pennridge student athletes were motivated to do well in school and to extend their association with fellow athletes who were dedicated to admirable goals, both on and off the fields of competition. Bob Hosier's coaching philosophy has centered on 6 C's and 1 H: cooperation, commitment, courage, challenge, consistency, confidence, and humility. A parent letter submitted in nomination of Bob Hosier for the 2020-21 PCEF Friend of Education Award reads in part, "Your record of league championships and winning track events, combined with your consistent message to young men to maintain humility with all their success, goes beyond parent admiration. Coaches and team members in many of the surrounding school districts know what a special program Pennridge has, and the remarks are always positive. For 48 years, Bob Hosier has clearly taught the meaning of respect, effort, hard work, and intrinsic value of success for those young men and women fortunate enough to experience his influence."
We'd like to present the 2020 Friend of Education Award to Bob Hosier. I'll bring you back the box. Thank you, Coach.
Evening, everyone. When I got Tom Rudder reached out to me and said, "Remember April 21st, that was just as the start of the pandemic. And that date went and went, it's gone. But all of a sudden he said he revived it, and here we are. And I'm very thankful that I can serve Pennridge as I've been doing for a long time. And I'd just like to go over the part where it says the C's and the H. It's a very simple philosophy, and we pound it into our students and our athletes as coaches. But just behind what they mean, just a little bit more. Let me find out where that was. Okay. The first word on the list was cooperation, which simply means if you're asked to do something, do it. And we expect that. Next is commitment. Many guys playing sports, here are in 2 or 3 sports at the same time. And a lot of teachers, a lot of people get very irritated by this. And the respect part, if you're going to compete, if you want to compete at a good level, you have to be there every day. So that we pound that one into them also. Courage. We saw a lot of courage tonight in the track meet that we just had. The boys that were there and now back home, they did a great job. But courage is part of it. Courage to go out there and give it your best. Things look bleak, but no one stopped and quit. Challenge. We always sort of make this one a little bit of a joke. Every evening before you go to bed, look in that mirror and just say or answer, did I do my best? Am I a better person today than I was yesterday? And hopefully the answer to that is always yes. Consistency. We've had a lot of success with our track teams because of their team efforts in events. A relay. We're big into the relays. And you have to be consistent. When we put you on the track, we hope that you are going to be equal or better than what you were last time you were on the track. And that consistency means a whole lot, because if you have a relay of 4 people and one of them is having a bad day, the relay is gone, all right? And that can make people very, very upset. Confidence, again, it's self-confidence. I can do it. I can do it. I keep on trying to hammer more. You can do more than you think. When your brain says stop and you're out there doing all that running, keep on running. Go past that barrier. And that seems to take some profits. Challenge, consistency, confidence, and the last one, humility. At our meet today, our opposition was very good. And they were yelling and screaming like crazy people every time they did something good. And our poor guys are told that they can't do that. You want to be humble. That means the person that is next to you could be there, and the person could be a very, very important person, but you'd never know it because that person is just low-key, very brilliant, very helpful, but it's not yelling and screaming as some people will allow. Thank you very much for having me here tonight, and I can't wait to hear some of the music and hear Bob and Maria at the same time. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Bob, for your comments, and again, congratulations on your award. Our first musical group for this evening is one of our newer groups here at Pennridge. It's called Big Jazz Tiny Wagon. This is a jazz combo created and started by the students at Pennridge High School jazz program. The group consists of several members of the jazz ensemble rhythm section, and they have independently worked on preparing a combination of classic jazz standards and more modern songs for your enjoyment. They started their performing career this holiday season during a drive-through event at Calvary Church, and they're excited for an opportunity for a second evening out. They want to thank PCEF for the opportunity to perform and hope that all the award recipients and their guests enjoy the evening tonight. So I give you Big Jazz, Tiny Wagon.
That was Autumn Leaves. This next song will be All the Things You Are. 1, 2, 3.
Once again, we want to thank Big Jazz Tiny Wagon for their performance tonight. Our next honoree is Maria Gannon. She's the only one of our honorees tonight that I really do not know. When she started over at South, or she's over here. You were over here. I'm like, when she started at South, we had moved over to Central, and then she was at the high school, so I really didn't get to know her very well. But I do know all the work that our life skills teachers put in this district. They put in countless hours of preparation and dedication to their students to give them the best possible experience that they can get. Tonight, Jean Pritz is going to do the honors of presenting the award to Maria Gannon. So, Jean.
Good evening. True teachers are those who use themselves as bridges over which they invite their students to cross. Then, having facilitated their crossing, joyfully collapse, encouraging them to create their own. This quote epitomizes the philosophy of Maria Gannon. When she started her tenure at Pennridge High School as a life skills teacher, one of her objectives was to help her students build bridges. Bridges that connected them with the rest of the school population and staff, bridges that connected them with the surrounding community, and bridges that reached beyond to offer opportunities where her students could thrive. Maria's vision for the Life Skills program involved developing a new curriculum where students focused on job skills in order to prepare them for a future beyond high school. At its inception, Jobs 365 included a coffee shop for staff, plant stand, and a greeting card shop, offering opportunity for community outreach, both inside and outside the school setting. Matt's Market was created as an extension of the coffee shop, honoring the memory of a former student. Here, students practice money and management skills, selling various snack and drink items, and crafts to raise money for community-based instruction, where students interact with the community in a real-world setting. Maria continued to expand the program, keeping the original premise of building bridges in mind. She held Olympic Day, where she invited Quakertown and Palisades life skills classes to compete in fun activities. She developed a Minute to Win It game day, which included a surprise wedding proposal for a staff member. She orchestrated a school-wide Autism Awareness Day by providing each student in the high school over 2,000 puzzle piece pins handcrafted by her students. Each of these events incorporated the general school population, as well as the intermediate unit's MDS classroom. She recruited students and staff to be both assistants and audience members during the game day events. But perhaps her most ambitious venture transformed an unused section of a courtyard at Pennridge High School into a pumpkin patch. The project began in April and spanned 6 months to the following October. Her students were involved from start to finish, from ripping out ivy in a joint venture with the Pennridge High School football team to tilling the soil and planting seeds. Once planted, she, along with her children and the ESY summer program, watered, weeded the area throughout the summer. She meticulously planned and orchestrated busing for all first-grade students in each of the 7 elementary schools in the district. Each class was greeted by the students and escorted to each of the 5 stations for a different activity. The week-long event showcased time management skills, interpersonal skills, flexibility, leadership, and of course, pure enjoyment. I had the honor of working with Maria for 5 years at the high school. I was and am amazed by her work ethic, the drive she exhibits when she formulates an idea and then transforms it into a reality. She has an innate ability to understand the students that she's working with and has the knowledge to appropriately modify curriculum to best fit their needs. She wants them to look past the high school experience and assist them with the transition from the school setting to the workforce. She is a tireless advocate for her students and a lifeline to parents trying to navigate the often complex search for services. She knows that each of her students have a unique ability, and it is her mission to nurture it and enable it to grow. Ultimately, she wants them to build their own bridges. I can think of no one more deserving of this honor. So please join me in welcoming my friend, Maria Gannon, to the stage for the 2020 Friend of Education Award. Beautiful, thank you.
Wow. It's with great humility that I accept this award tonight. When your job is doing something that you love, it's hard to call it work. 30 years ago, I had no idea what the words special needs, disability, or even special education meant. It was in 1991 when my twin nephews were born at just about 2 pounds each, and the medical team spoke to us using words that might as well have been in another language. Words like cerebral palsy, early intervention, special needs, and special education. That I decided we needed to know a little bit more. And so I enrolled in a class called Intro to Special Ed. From day one, I loved that class. I could not learn enough. If we spoke about something in class, I researched it until I really understood it. I made a list of various disabilities, and with my professor's help, I volunteered in all different settings, from Easter Seals early intervention program to group homes for adults with autism. I wanted to experience as much as I could. I promised myself that I would always be a resource for families so no one felt as confused and as alone as we did on the journey. In special education, everyone talks about having an IEP. It's what drives everything when you have a child with special needs. Most people concentrate on the E for education. I always concentrated on the I for individual. I never look at a program and see who we can place there. I look at the person, the whole person, not just the disability. And I think, what does this person need to be most successful? And that's where I start. About 20 years ago, I came to Pennridge High School and was asked to be the teacher for a life skills classroom. I walked into a building of over 2,000 students and was really responsible for only 18. But in the years I spent at Pennridge, the administration, the faculty, the support staff, the custodians, the students, and the whole community really embraced our program. Our students and I were blessed with an amazing staff in our classroom, from support staff to therapists. They all went over and above their own job descriptions daily to ensure that students succeeded. And that's what made the program a success. Being surrounded by people who see your vision and support you in making it happen is such a gift. I never thought I would leave that classroom until my retirement. But when a position opened that gave me the opportunity to work with students with special needs, to be employed in our local community, a need that I advocated about for many years, I had to get on board. Now, every day, I work with local businesses, building partnerships where students can learn on-the-job skills in a real-life setting. I see students with disabilities being part of a workforce or a volunteer program in their own community. I work with job coaches throughout the county that support these students and work on skills to obtain and maintain employment. It's an amazing honor to be part of. This year, a long-time dream of mine is coming true. I have always been proud of my students and their hard work, and then they would graduate, and many left behind all the wonderful opportunities with no plans for post-21. I am beyond excited that the IU is now a provider with OVR and ODP in supporting adults with disabilities. This means I get to work with people with disabilities from age 5 to age 99. Although we're only in our first year, I have met some amazing and motivated adults, and I'm looking forward to being part of all the services that we're going to offer for adults. I can't thank you enough for recognizing me tonight. It's truly an honor. But in recognizing me, I feel you have honored the dedication of so many people who make a difference every day in the lives of people with disabilities. If I could leave you with one thing, I leave you with this quote from Martina Navratilova. Disability is a matter of perception. If you can do just one thing well, you are needed by someone. Thank you, everyone.
Once again, congratulations to Marie on a wonderful honoree. Our next group performing tonight is the Performing Arts Theater students from the cast of Beauty and the Beast. They rehearsed since November to put on a live and film production of the show. I was fortunate enough to see this performance, and I can tell you what an amazing job they did, especially when you consider that they had to practice and perform this whole entire show wearing a mask, which makes it extra hard. The students performing tonight are Maya Bowerman, who played Belle, Jack Boyd, who played the Beast, and Abby Rose, who played Mrs. Potts. They are accompanied on piano by Michael Frenson, who was a member of the pit orchestra for the show, and also the pit orchestra did a phenomenal job as well. And it's the first time I think we've had a student pit orchestra in probably about 20, 25 years, so it was good to see the pit orchestra back. So congratulations to all the members, and here they are.
true as it can be. Barely even friends, then somebody bends unexpectedly. Just a little change, small to say the least, both a little scared, neither one prepared, Beauty and the Beast. Never just the same, ever a surprise, ever as before, never just as sure as the sun will rise, tale as old as time, tune as old as song, bittersweet and strange, finding you can change, learning you were wrong, certain as the sun, rising in the east, tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme, Beauty and the Beast. Tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme, Beauty and the Beast.
And in my twisted face, there's not the slightest trace of anything that even hints at kindness, and from my tortured shape, no comfort, no escape. I see, but deep within is utter blindness, hopeless, as my dream dies, as the time flies, love a lost illusion, helpless, unforgiving, cold and driven to this sad conclusion. No beauty could move me, no goodness improve me, no power on earth if I can't love her. No passion could reach me, no lesson could teach me how I could have loved her and make her love me too. If I can't love her, then who? Long ago I should have seen all the things I could have been. Careless and unthinking, I moved onward. No pain could be deeper, no life could be cheaper, no point anymore if I can't love her. No spirit could win me, no hope left within me. Hope I could have loved her and that she'd set me free. But it's not to be if I can't love her. Let the world be done with me.
There's been a change in me, a kind of moving on, the one I used to be. I still depend upon how I realize that good can come from bad, that may not make me wise, but oh, it makes me glad, and I never thought I'd leave behind my childhood dreams, but I don't mind, for now I love the world I see. No change of heart, a change in me. For in my dark despair, I slowly understood my perfect world out there had disappeared for good. But in its place I feel a truer life begin, and it's so good and real, it must come from within, and I never thought I'd leave behind my childhood dreams, but I don't mind. I'm where and who I want to be. change of heart, a change in me. No change of heart, a change in me.
Thank you so much for those wonderful performances from the cast of Beauty and the Beast. Our final honoree tonight is Mr. Bob Pepkowski, or Coach Pep, as most people would know him. I first started to really, well, I had his students, his children as students back in the day. But Bob used to coach football over at South when I was over there, and every day around 2:30, 2:45, Bob would come walking in, get himself ready for the games or for the practices. And then when we moved over to Central, it was the same story because he came over to Central, started coaching over there where I was. And then my son started working at Brooks, which is where Bob started to work, or he was working there, I guess, for a long time. And we could talk about work a little bit. But it's for the many hours that he's devoted to the Pennridge students and the Pennridge community that he's being honored tonight. And doing the honors to present the award tonight will be Mr. Tom Rudder.
I'm going to do something I rarely do, and that's go off script, huh, Ron? I just want to take a moment and thank everyone for this incredible reminder of the wonderful profession that I was privileged to serve in, and especially for being here at Pennridge, from our student musicians to our award winners and recipients to the presenters and the team of PCEF. We have so much to be proud of here at Pennridge, and it really is a lovely evening. I hope this video goes viral. It deserves to. It really does. Bob Pepkowski, Coach Pep, has significantly impacted the Pennridge athletic community, coaching football for the past 50 years, baseball for over 20 years, and softball for 10 years. He began his coaching career with the Pennridge Green Jackets midget football program, continued at Penn South Middle School, and at Penn Central Middle School, and in November of 2017, Bob retired after completing his 50th season coaching football. Over the years, he had the opportunity to coach both of his sons, Trevor and Matt. During the teacher strike of 1992, Coach Pep crossed the picket line so that senior members of the Pennridge High School football team could play their last season of high school football. Coach Pep has inspired and developed over 2,000 Pennridge athletes, including 6 that went on to play at the NFL, and many, many more who went on to play at the collegiate level. He has had numerous undefeated seasons and many championships. His no-nonsense approach and old-school work ethic earned Bob respect from all those he coached. Bob taught his players values that last a lifetime: dedication, commitment, honor, integrity, and sportsmanship. He is described, and I quote, as tough, humble, hardworking, dedicated, positive, the most caring coach, and a true living legend. His many one-liners and nicknames he had for so many of his players have lived on in infamy among those who were fortunate enough to compete under his leadership. No doubt, a great deal of perseverance is required to keep anyone coaching for 50 years. But for Bob Pepkowski, it was more than just the love of the game. It was a commitment to helping athletes he coached and a deep affinity to the Pennridge community. He taught many young men values which will be forever ingrained in their hearts, and to this day, When he is stopped by former players and parents, many fond memories are shared. Indeed, Coach Pep's philosophy to coach them hard and love them harder has made many lasting impressions. Finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't take a few moments to share on a personal level some reflections with Bob and his family here. I believe it was sometime around 1990 when I had the privilege of welcoming you to South Junior High School, and we stuck together, didn't we, Bob? I was delighted that 7 years at South were followed by 14 years at Penn Central. I want to personally thank you for those many years of extraordinary service to kids at a very unique stage of their development. Truth be told, it takes some very special qualities to work with young athletes just entering puberty. High school coaches, you see, have the benefit of community and middle-level feeder programs, camp experience, speed coaches, etc. Let's just say that middle school coaches get kids when they are raw at best, and many not even inclined towards athletic competition. Truth be told, their dads believed that they were going to get a football scholarship. Moms just didn't want their kid getting hurt. What many of them didn't know was their kid could barely run a quarter mile without pads and could barely run a 100-yard dash with pads on. It was an annual ritual in the fall. Anywhere from 40 to 75 young men and even a few young ladies would attend that first meeting, and it would take an entire week of trips to Pennridge High School just to outfit those kids with second, third, even fourth-hand pads and equipment. But you stood by each kid, Bob, and gave each of them their chance to put that equipment on. The numbers, of course, would quickly dwindle down, and before you knew it, each season there was a cohesive group of young men who counted among their greatest privileges to be one of Pep's boys. By the end of the season, just about everyone had a nickname that stuck with them through high school. I remember several championship seasons. I remember South and Central games under the lights in Pop Yoder Field. Now that was a rivalry, right? Meaningful awards assemblies and many fond memories of Friday afternoon pep rallies. I believe few people in the community have any idea what it takes to be a coach, or for that matter, a provider of any extracurricular activity. When it's all said and done, the hourly wage is probably less than $1 an hour. People who served with me throughout my career would probably attest that I was the last one out of the building just about every day. But I have to admit, there were occasions when you were the exception, Bob. As I drove off at 6 or 6:30 p.m., there you were with one or two boys whose parents still had to pick them up after an away game. Bob, thanks for staying with those kids all those years. It truly is an honor and privilege for me, on behalf of PCEF, to present you with this Friend of Education Award 2020. Congratulations and best wishes. Pretend it's a pep rally.
Hello, everybody. I wasn't ready to say anything, but I think I better. I coached 50 years. Coach Hillman called me up August of '88 and asked me if I wanted to coach Pennridge South. At that time, it was only South and Central. There was no North. So I said, yeah, I'll coach. So me and Denny Stanley Jr. I coached with Denny Stanley Jr. for 1 year. And then he moved down to Happer, and I took over the head coaching job at South. And I stayed there. Like Dr. Rutter said, I stayed there with him. And then when he moved over to Central, he said, hey, Coach Pep, kidding around, he says, the head coach has to come with me over to the new school. And I said, I'm time for a change. So I moved over to the new school. At South, I think we won 6 championships. And at North, we won another 6 or 7 championships. That was in 30 years. Before that, I coached Green Jackets for 20 years. And like Dr. Rutter said, we had about 6 NFL players. And Tim Lewis, who played for Coach Hosier and myself, he said I was the hardest coach he ever had at a golf meeting outing. But I think the children liked me because I treated everybody the same, whether they were the best athlete or the worst athlete. And some that couldn't even do one push-up. The first day, I used to tell my coaches and my kids, we have 24 hours to put a team together. And they look at me and say, 24 hours? I said, yeah. I said, just think of it. We get out of school at 3 o'clock, we're on the field at 4:45, and in 2 weeks, we have a game. So we got to get a team together in 24 hours. Because I didn't have the luxury like I had it in midget ball to keep kids there till 9 o'clock at night if the parents didn't make any fuss. But we made it. We usually made it. And I always had an agenda of what I wanted to accomplish that year. Whether we had the best team on the field or the worst team on the field. I always thought that I solved that agenda every year. I wanted everybody to play offense. If you didn't play offense, you didn't play defense at all. So I got an offensive team. One year I had 105 boys out and 2 girls. And Mr. Donaldson said, hey, Pep, we don't have enough uniforms. We got to run them. We need more uniforms. So the first day I lost 15 boys. I was down to whatever that is, 90. The second day I went down to 85. Then it went down to 75. We had enough to fill everybody's helmets and shoulder pads and so on and so forth. But that's the way it was. And I truly enjoyed every minute I was there. Whether it be football, basketball, hardball, or softball, I enjoyed every minute I was there. And the most important thing was my family stood behind me. You always have to have a strong support from your family. If you don't, you can't make it. You can't make it through. And I had a very strong support. I was very thankful that I had one. And with that, I thank you for the award, and I think that's all I have to say. I'll say more later. My wife always reminds me, you'll remember things that you said 50 years ago, but you don't remember what I said yesterday. Maybe it's why I'm getting old, or better, or whatever. But thank you.
Congratulations again to Coach Bob Pepkowski. Our final musical group for this evening is the PHS Jazz Ensemble. This is the high school's highest audition-based band ensemble within the program. Traditionally, the Jazz Ensemble prepares and competes in several festivals and competitions, stretching through the Bucks and Montgomery counties, as well as extending into Philadelphia. This year, the Jazz Ensemble is making the most out of their opportunities to rehearse together, and they are very excited to share their very first public performance of the season with you tonight. This season, the students have prepared a wide selection of jazz repertoire covering classics from Count Basie, Chick Corea, and Stan Keaton's bands, all the way to more modern classics such as Buddy Rich and Charlie Rosen. They are thrilled to perform for you this evening and want to say a special thank you to the PCEF and wish the award winners a big congratulations. I give you the Jazz Ensemble. Before the jazz ensemble plays one more song as we leave tonight, I'd like to just thank you, all of you, really, for coming out tonight in this trying year that we've been through. Special thank you for everyone at PCEF who made this evening possible. You know who you are. A special thank you to all the presenters and all of our honorees tonight, Bob Pepkowski, Maria Gannon, and Bob Hosier, and all of our musical groups, starting with our string quartet, our jazz ensemble, Big Jazz Little Wagon, the cast from Beauty and the Beast, and finally, our fantastic jazz ensemble here. The performing arts are alive and well at Pennridge. So again, thank you for all you coming. It truly was a lovely evening, and I want to thank all of you, and good night. Hope to see you back next year. One more.